This is a Land Cruiser, and it isn't just any Land Cruiser. This is a classic 70 series Land Cruiser, and it isn't just any classic 70 series Land Cruiser. This one is prepared for the Paris-Dakar. Known as the HZJ78 DKR, it's prepared specifically for the Dakar Rally by a company in France known as Company Saharine. This 1998 70 series has been produced specifically to run in the Paris-Dakar. It's been modified and it runs a normally aspirated 6-cylinder diesel engine. The Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series is widely considered to be one of the toughest SUVs in the world. Sometimes known as the Toyota of Toyotas, it is probably the ideal vehicle for a tough, destructive rally like the Dakar, or in this case, the Dakar Classic that runs through Saudi Arabia. And let's be clear, the Dakar Classic is one tough event, especially for these older cars. Campaigned by Indian rally driver Sanjay Takle, this vehicle we are driving today in Chandigarh allowed him to be the first Indian to complete the Dakar Classic. So what exactly do we have here? Now these iconic turning lights, look at that, big, chunky. They tell you what this car was. Really retro and old grille and headlight combo, and of course this has been raised. The suspension is very different. Now, of course, the regular strut has been swapped out. You get this coil and an additional support damper or strut on the right, and this also has shackles that prevent the suspension from going too far down, going all the way down and damaging something like a drive shaft. And of course it has a snorkel, so it breathes clean air rather than sand and dust. Now an interesting number here, 722, where have you seen that before? And a lovely paint scheme, orange, white and green for the Indian flag. And this vehicle has had a lot of weight taken out, but it still weighs 2.1 tons. To make it even more indestructible, Company Saharine, the one who's prepared this vehicle, has taken the HZJ78's already overbuilt ladder frame and reinforced it further to help it deal with the big drops and the chassis twisting forces encountered in the dunes. So of course the bumper has been removed to make it lighter, but look at that. Isn't that iconic? And these doors. And look at how beefed up that shock is. Other changes include a shortened front bumper, no rear bumper, a fuel capacity upped to 300 litres and dual tanks. Under the bonnet sits a 4.2 litre naturally aspirated straight 6 diesel. Power in this case is increased from roughly 130 horsepower to 160. Step inside and you get all the regular rally car kit, but from a few years ago. Reinforced racing seats, multi-point harness, rally instrumentation, navigational aid, big switches that are easy to hit with gloves on, and stuff like pumps, diff locks and additional cooling systems, all with their own switch gear. On the move, it initially feels nothing like a race or rally car. First up, that 4.2 diesel. The rattle from under the bonnet is so un-race car-like. And even worse is the fact that it's sluggish. It does, however, smoothen up in the mid-range. On the engine, 4.2 litres, naturally aspirated diesel. I haven't driven one of those for years, but the mid-range is pretty strong. And place when you put your foot down, it really does move. Down faster and slightly harder sections like this rally suspension becomes even more impressive. Can't imagine driving something at this speed and being so comfortable and relaxed, putting the wheels through massive ruts and sections that will just toss a ridiculous 4x4 up in the air. I know that because I've just done this section in a regular 4x4. Tremendous poise over these bumps, massive stability, and the ability to carry speed over long distances and really rough sections. Wow. Just what the doctor ordered for this soft, sandy Chandigarh riverbed I'm driving through. And then even over these soft, baked sections, this thing just runs beautifully. What a thing this is. You can manage any sort of desert stretch. This dry riverbed, the perfect place to run this classic Land Cruiser. As Sanjay says, the real trick is being able to read the surface before you, knowing where to place the car and where not to. Again, just taking these sandy, wet sections, soft sand, slush, the flowing rivulet like an absolute pro. It's just such a blast with the car moving around all the time, every second. And look how easily it takes to this steep climb. While it isn't quick off the line, what it does do well is hold on to high average speeds. And that's where it makes most of its time. On the move, it rewards anticipation, smooth inputs, planning and patience. And it allows you to hold on to high speeds where others have to slow down. Driver Sanjay Takle was the first Indian to finish the Dakar Classic.
Well, overall it's a great experience, I would say. It's very, very tough, but the car is very strong, and I was able to finish the Dakar with this one. When you're climbing the dunes, you have to be very aware what is on the other side of the dunes. So basically we have to read the dunes is number one. We have to read the color of the sand, and number two, very important is the wind pattern. This is the most important thing, because the wind coming from one direction, the direction when the wind comes, that side is very harder. While the opposite side where the sand usually deposit is amazingly porous, amazing. You just put your one foot on it, it will come down like avalanche. And more thing, you have to look after your health, because if you fall sick, then the car is over for you. So you have to look after your car, you have to look after your health, you have to be very much hydrated, and it breaks you mentally down definitely after 2-3 days. So you just have to be more strong, more focused, you have to be very, very modest, very, very respectful to the desert. If you respect the desert, it will allow you to cross you with this, because Dakar is all about driving on sands. So it's very, very important to keep the power, the control, aggression, but you have to be still consistent when you climb the dunes, and you have to be very, very careful when you come off the dunes. So that's new thing I have to learn when I did my training in Dubai, and in Morocco also twice I did. So that was helped me a lot, and it was very, very important for the Dakar actually to do this sort of new driving techniques or the driving information you have to have. So normally there is a prologue on day 1, then there is 7 days of rallying, and then 1 day rest, and again 7 days. So all put together is 16 days together, like effective when you start with the prologue, I would say, and then competition is 15 days, I would say. The Dakar was on my mind for a very long time actually, after doing rallying for almost, motorsports for 39 years, and I did a lot of car rallies, as you know, Asia Pacific, the WRCs I did cross country, and there was no Indian in the Dakar. There was always in the back of my mind, and as everyone knows in motorsports, this is the ultimate challenge, like to do a Dakar. So I was always there in my mind, and I started preparing well in advance. 3-4 years I did 4x4 rallies in Thailand, Asia cross country. I shifted from cars to the SUVs. I learned to drive the SUVs. That was the preparation part, and then I did a lot of training also. Yes, I was very lucky to finish Dakar on the first attempt with the company Saren, and I finished 18th overall out of 96 cars, and I finished, I think, 11th in my class. So finishing Dakar itself is like a winning a Dakar, I would say. So yes, I can say it's a small, like how do I say it, like it's just my own happiness, I would say. I was able to cross the Dakar, I would say.
So while this isn't your regular rally car, what makes it so effective is its mechanical strength. It knows how to keep going when everything around it wants to make it stop. And that's what makes it unique.